And the
podcast
begins with a song of rebellion.
How can this
podcast
be my life?
CD Burners.
Let's go.
Here we go.
I'm in a good mood. The thing is I am in a good mood.
I am too.
I'm in like a very good mood. I'm just weird.
Bro, it's like 28 degrees back home right now.
You got to enjoy the LA.
Yeah.
You
And
like
it's-
this?
I love this. Yeah.
It's cold for us. I was like, we're whatever. We're not talking about the weather
Yeah,
today,
that's
guys.
awesome. That is cool to talk about the weather.
We got Ryan Savitski from One Step Closer in the studio today. Thank you so much for coming by, CD Burners.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me.
And the album we're talking about is one of your favorites.
Yes.
And I assume one of your favorites because you picked it.
Yes.
We're talking about Green Day's Dookie.
Yes.
We were listening to One Step Closer on the way back from the airport this morning.
Oh, sick.
And yeah, and then I was like, turn it off. It's too loud. I'm too tired. Just enough.
Why is he yelling
It's
at
8
me?
a.m.
Stop,
Like, come on.
stop yelling at me.
Yeah.
No,
I wanted TJ to like, TJ was like, let's listen to this. And then I was like, I listened to something stupid on the plane. Put that on. Anyway, what's up? Welcome
that's
to LA.
dope. Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's sick. Your band's sick. But
Thank you.
like that long, your band is sick.
Thank you.
Dookie, we're doing Dookie. Thank you for picking this. It kind of does fall a little bit outside of like the realm of like, you know, like this, right? Emo Night stuff. But we have been doing bands and artists.
I mean, arguably this album like really started it all for the mainstream pop punk
100%. Yeah.
world.
I was like shocked that you guys didn't have someone on here that did this record.
Yeah. Like when I read that book, Where Are Your Boys? Like the first like 3 chapters are dedicated to Green Day. And I think that Dan Ozzie book where he talks about like the mainstream feeding frenzy or the major label feeding frenzy of pop punk and emo. It all starts at Gilman Street with Green Day and Dookie.
Yeah, 1,000%. I read that book, Sellout.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
He's a great writer.
Yeah. I mean, that book was amazing. It was just cool to like have a perspective of like seeing what these bands were doing before all the major label success that they had and things like that. Like, I mean, Green Day was just playing like 300 to 500 cap rooms and, you know, doing Gilman and was just very punk doing their thing. And then seeing a band like get a major label offer and then get kind of like banned from their scene and like for taking it and then just absolutely exploding is like crazy, you know?
It does like. Do you have a Gilman's like where you grew up, like where you guys grew up?
There was this place called Redwood that was like, you know, it wasn't around nearly as long as Gilman. All of the venues in Wilkes-Barre kind of just get shut down like super fast after, you know, so many years of doing hardcore shows there just because, you know, things go wrong. There's fights, you know, whatever. Something happens and it ends up getting shut down. But Redwood was where like Title Fight was playing all the time back in the day. Bands like, you know, Basement and Cold World and like all these like hardcore bands or like, you know, hardcore adjacent bands were coming through there and playing and the shows were amazing. There was, you know, 300-400 people at every single show.
Is that like, are we talking? Because it's interesting because I don't know in the capacity if that is big or small anymore because we had something like that in Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah.
Which was called it's called Scrappies.
Mm-hmm.
And like every like scene adjacent band passed through there and every like now, you know, big band, if I tell them I'm from Tucson, they're like Scrappies and they know the owner. And it was very, very in line with Gilman and like, no, I didn't know too much about Gilman. Right.
Yeah.
I just didn't grow up there.
I mean, me either. Yeah. I mean, I'm obviously, you know, I'm an East Coast person. So it's just like, I've heard of Gilman, you know, through the grapevine and hearing and seeing bands play there, like YouTube videos and stuff when I was a kid and different things like that. But yeah, I mean, like Redwood wasn't like it was just like when I was growing up and young and when Title Fight was like the band in our area, that was the place. And that's where like all the shows were happening. So I went to my first show when I was like 12 years old there.
I think I read an interview with you where you were talking about that first show, which sounded fucking awesome.
Yeah.
What was the lineup for it?
It was literally Title Fight headlining under an alias of Western Haikus because they were on Warped Tour. So they couldn't play within the radius.
Yeah.
So it was Title Fight, Cold World, Bad Seed. I think Dead End Path, which is like another local hardcore band. And then I forget who opened, but it was just a stacked like 5-band bill of like all Wilkes-Barre bands that were, it was insane. You know, and it's like I'm experiencing people stage diving on me for the first time. And it's like, you know, like the true energy of like what a hardcore show is and what like being in a hardcore band feels like, you know what I mean? It was just cool to see that. And I feel like it opened up my eyes to so much stuff at like such a young age, which was really cool.
And when did Dookie come onto your radar?
Oh, dude, like even younger than that.
Because
honestly.
to be honest, full transparency here, Ryan wanted to do a Title Fight album, and I was like, bro, we just did it like 2 weeks ago. Like, can we do something else? So my fault here for kind of derailing, you know, the truly like album that changed your life. But
yeah, but to be fair, like if I were to pick like a top 5 favorite bands of all time, Green Day would have to be my number 1.
Okay.
Just because I've been listening to them since I was like a child. Like my dad is like super involved in music, plays guitar and stuff like that. He's like super into like rock and like the 90s stuff, but also like was into the hair band stuff back in the day and like all that kind of thing.
He shreds.
Yeah. He's a great player.
Does he shreds?
Yeah. He plays in like a cover band and he's the one ripping all the solos and, you know, doing all the cool stuff. So they're like pretty popular back home too, which is fun.
That is awesome, dude.
Yeah.
That rules.
Yeah. It's really sick.
What
it's
are
cool.
they called?
It's called Fog.
Also, what a kind of a gas name.
Yeah. It's cool.
That's a good name.
Yeah. He joined, you know, he's been doing bands like in his later life for a long time, but he joined this band not too long ago. Like probably like 5 years at this point now, but like has been playing with them a bunch and like they're pretty popular. But yeah, I mean, he introduced me to like Green Day, and at the time when I was a kid, American Idiot was rolling out and like that VH1 top 20 countdown was on Saturday mornings, and we used to sit there and just like watch the top 20 music videos every Saturday morning. And yeah, it was awesome.
What a wildly strange experience that like people growing up now don't have. And I wonder like what their version of that is and when they will be like in like 10 or 20 years.
TikTok. I was scrolling.
I was going to
TikTok.
say TikTok probably.
Yeah. And I heard the Charlie Kirk song. And that changed everything.
That was it. Shed and the Charlie Kirk song. Like what? That was my. It's funny you mentioned Shed because like fucking we just played like a electronic festival. Like we do like electronic music like under whatever. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah,
but we curated this stage and one of the artists like opened his set with Shed.
That's so
like
crazy.
At like a bass festival.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. Like it is like a phenomenon how big they are at this point and just are still like
we're
good, you know. But yeah, dude, I mean, you know, Green Day, Title Fight, like those are. Yeah, I feel like Title Fight was a band that really influenced like me as like a teenager, where like Green Day has been a band that's influenced me since I was a child, you know?
Gotcha. Yeah.
It's a bar.
Yeah.
But you said, so you said that, I mean, you're pretty young, right? Like you're like
26. Yeah.
Okay. You said that your introduction to Green Day was in their American Idiot era. So that was probably around like 2004.
Yep.
This came out 10 years prior to that, 1994.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You weren't even alive, were you?
No. But, yeah, it's crazy.
I was. It was all, so I remember this like really Green Day. It was like Green Day on MTV. I was in my grandma's house on Schlong Island, and all I would do was like watch in their what would people call it, a den? There's a den.
In the den,
and it was just like the MTV over and over again. It was like the Black Hole Sun, Soundgarden, The Offspring, and then Longview.
Yep.
Were the like those were the 3 videos that like I watch, I can like smell them. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, just like that, that very like distinct smell of like a certain room or like house that you're in. Yeah, I get that.
It's really interesting, but like those were the Soundgarden video in particular.
It was so weird.
It was
like really groundbreaking at the time.
Yeah, it was one that like really stuck with me. And then Longview would come on, and I was like, I literally don't think I knew what like masturbation was. And like after a while, like putting it together, and I was like, why are they bleeping that word? Could he possibly be saying? Shit.
And it's literally just the video of him just like sitting on the couch, just like being insane. Yeah.
I had no idea like what word as a 10-year or whatever, like kid, I was like going through my head, and I was like, okay, I know fuck, shit. What else is there?
Yeah, there's nothing else.
I was like, what else could this guy be saying? It sounds like he's saying something longer.
Yeah.
And I was like, I had no idea what it was.
That's so funny. 10-year-old Morgan just trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like, well, now I still do that with like most things. I'm like, what? Still the same guy. But that was like Dookie. It was, okay, keep going.
Well, Dookie so it was their third album, which is kind of crazy for like a seminal album. But I think that shows like how Green Day truly like was a punk band.
Yeah.
At its core, they spent a lot of time on the road. They came from like a very, very punk DIY background.
Yes.
They were like the real deal.
They were like the Bay Area punks, like, doing their thing. And I also like, I feel like people forget how young they were. If Dookie came out and that's their third record, I think they were in their early 20s, if not like late teens when that record came out. Like I think Trey Cool is the youngest out of all of them, and he couldn't have been older than like 18 years old when Dookie came out.
Yeah, I was watching the documentary on YouTube that they had for this one, and I was like, holy shit, like that means Billy Joe is probably like only 50, but it feels like he's older in my mind because they've been around and they've been so big for so long.
Yeah, for so long. And now like, I think like touring as a punk band and like doing everything DIY for that long, I think that like you just get to a point where like, I think they probably reached a point where they're like, all these, major labels are coming and knocking out at the door. Like, do we either continue to do this and just like not really see where it goes and just like kind of stay true to what we're doing? Or, we're young. Why don't we go see what could happen with a major label and how big this could even go?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, then it's like, okay, we go back to real life and then that's it. You know what I'm saying?
It is that part of like hardcore and punk and I think just like music in general, like has always been such an interesting thing because like the goal, like I feel like as a musician, you're like, I want to play in front of people. I want people to like hear music. I want to connect. But the like punk, being a punk, like, I want to stay within my thing. So there's like this like gotta be like such a weird internal
for sure
battle with like
your ethos. Yeah. It's the ethos of hardcore and punk music of just being like, you don't want to do what every other band is doing. You want to do your own thing and you want to stay within your scene. And like, especially when you're that committed to like your local roots and everything that you do locally, it's really hard to like get out of that mindset and not feel like people are going to be judgmental of what you decide to do next, Yeah.
I mean, I feel like now the word sellout has gotten a lot weaker.
Yes.
But like back in the 90s, it was like probably the worst thing that you could be called as or labeled as a band.
Yeah. I mean, they literally banned them from Gilman for like almost 20 years.
I didn't know. Dude, I had no
years.
idea. Like, I'm not like qualified enough to talk about Green Day. I just am a humongous fan. It's like, they were one of the bands that I was like, I don't think I need to know everything about them to love them. Like I was like, I just didn't feel like I needed to. And I started looking all the stuff up, watching. I was so I was like inspired watching these documentaries.
Yeah.
I was like, I have to stop watching this. Like I like stopped learning for this because I was just like, it's so fucking inspiring. But, well, I woke up at 4:00, forgot what I was saying. What was I saying? I'm not qualified enough to talk about. They are just, so they're like my top. It's like Dookie is like, TJ knows my top like 3. We're skipping a 4, but they have to be like either 4 or 5 top favorite albums of all time.
Yeah, I would probably say the same for me.
Like of all time. And I would argue that it is like the top 5 albums of all time, regardless of like me.
Well, I mean, let's talk a little bit about like how it was received, because it had 4 massive singles that are still played now. Longview, Basket Case, Welcome to Paradise, When I Come Around. I think Welcome to Paradise and When I Come Around are probably like 2 of the most played radio tracks ever. Yes. Like, I don't know any stats on that, but goddamn, like those songs are everywhere still.
It plays every single day. All 4 of those songs probably play every single day.
It peaked at number 2 on the Billboard 200. It's certified 10 times platinum by 1999.
That's crazy.
And it's now sold over 20 million copies worldwide. So it's one of the best selling punk albums ever. It also won a Grammy, and it's added to the National Recording Registry because it's so culturally significant.
That is amazing.
It was also like one of every like kid that I grew up with knew how to play this and Sublime.
Me too.
They knew how to play like this, and then what's the guitar solo to Santeria?
Yeah,
Santeria, and which is also subsequently, if you go to rehab, you'll have like one kid in rehab that knows how to play Santeria, and he brings an acoustic guitar with him, and that's all he plays
all day long.
There is a kid in rehab right now playing that in probably every rehab.
You think still? I don't know if the kids listen to Sublime the same way.
It does. That transcends time and space. Like that, I guarantee you there's a kid right now with basketball shorts with cigarette holes in them playing acoustic guitar, playing Sublime.
But he's not playing Green Day.
I could see it perfectly in my head.
You know who?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's like my girlfriend's on Suboxone. I'm trying to get ready. Okay.
When you look at like a band like Green Day though, and you see like the level of mainstream success that like a punk band received, does it, like, being somebody who's still like, a hardcore band, like you guys are very, you're still like a young band in the scheme of things, like looking at that kind of level of success, does it inspire you, or like how does it make you think about like your own career journey and like what's possible? Like you said, it's kind of a double-edged sword all the time, trying to maintain that level of like, we have seen cred, but like we want to reach that next level.
Yeah. I mean, I think nowadays more than anything, like you said, like the word sellout is kind of viewed way differently than it once was. And I think that watching, like, even just reading about this being Green Day's 3rd record, and then that's what kind of like blew them up, is like, I think that's inspiring for any artist who's been doing it for 8 to 10 years and has been touring and grinding and doing their thing, whether it's in punk music or indie music or, any kind of music. But to see that like a 3rd record that they put out gave them that much success, like, I think that's inspiring no matter how big you want your band to be or how much you strive. I think some things just kind of happen no matter if you're trying to be the biggest band in the world or not. Like, I don't think Green Day was putting out that record to be like, we're going to be the biggest band in the world. That definitely did not even cross their minds. They were probably like, hey, like, let's just see what could happen and see where this takes us. And like, let's just try it. And, we're going to get a lot of shit from everybody, especially at that time, but let's just see where we could go. And then next thing you know, they're literally, they played that Woodstock 94, the legendary, show with people throwing mud and all that stuff. And then that just absolutely explodes them to like stardom. Like,
I think the interesting thing about this record and like their roots is like, it's still them, and that's why I think maybe the term sellout isn't applicable in a lot of ways. Like, they signed to a major label, but I think they still made a record that was authentic to them.
100%. Even Welcome to Paradise is a re-recording.
Yeah.
I think Longview is 2, maybe. I think they were both on Kerplunk. I know Welcome to Paradise is on Kerplunk, or it was like on one of the early records. So they're still putting on songs that came out on, a small, like, I guess you could kind of call it like an indie label or like a small punk label. I think it was Lookout Records.
Lookout,
yeah. And like, you know, they put out they put that song on the record and just re-recorded it, you know? So, and that, again, I think you said that was one of the singles, right? Welcome to Paradise.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. And it was a radio success. You know, it's like, it's crazy.
It also is fucking sick that Gilman, I did not know any of this stuff. And I was talking to one of my friends who grew up there because he's like, what are you doing today?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm doing podcasts. He's like, which one are you doing? I was like, Green Day. He's like, do you know Laura Gilman? You know, like all this shit and like all this stuff. And I was like, tell you.
Yeah. Fill me in a little bit. Yeah.
I feel like, why don't you do the research for me? Why don't you do my work for me? And he was like, yeah, it was like it, you know, the dude that started it was like completely no racism, no fucking homophobia, nothing like that. And, you know, now, like, I think that that's just how venues are and don't really have to think that way too much, but because it's just like, don't do, you know, I think we live in that world. And back then, you know, you had to have a venue that was dedicated for that. Yeah. And I like forgot that existed. And it absolutely existed when I was growing up because this is bleep this name out. But my first experience I grew up like doing
experience with a guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And then end. It was awesome. And then cut to it was awesome. But my first experience with like punk and racism was a guy, cut this name out actually, because he's so scary. Still, there's this dude named Hunter Shingler, and he was like a skinhead, and he was like the oi, but like bad oi, and he had like I don't want to do like defining. This is one I'm like actually afraid of, but he did do something like very 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 fun, like funny, which was he's a badass dude. He's so huge and like I mean badass in the sense of like. I'm a badass guy. I'm a loner and I only hang out with my own skinhead friends and fuck all you emo pussy other punk pussies. And he pulled into the fucking high school parking lot on a motorcycle. Front airbag class is coming out. Fucking eats it. Oh. Like, just eats it, dude. And like, you know, got up like, I fucking meant to that happen. And then from that point on, I was like, you suck. I was like, you're a loser. I was like, you're a boner. but like generally like scary guy. And like, you know, I didn't know that world existed. I lived, you know, my world was just like, everybody's in everybody's band. Nobody thought about that shit at all whatsoever. And like, that's cool that they did that. And that's the way that I felt like for me, that's how like Scrappy's was.
Yeah. I feel like, I didn't really experience that too much because I wasn't around, obviously, at the time where that was a huge thing. But obviously, I've heard tons of stories, even in our scene, of like people and Nazis and you know, people fighting outside of venues and, you know, our friend like grabbing someone's leg and clearing some like glass out of a window that he just smashed out because they're like ripping people
glass,
out of,
bro. Like they're fucking like Nazi guys like love breaking windows. Yeah, that's like they love it. Yeah. I don't know what about it, but like every time I pass a fucking broken glass or like a window, like I'm just like I get that. I'm like, probably fucking like always like ska guy, like fucking like punch. And I know the guy that it looks like who did that.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts, dude. Like those old stories of like people fighting and doing like that. That was a thing though. That was real, and people were showing up being racist, wearing you know the Doc Marten laces that everyone was just like yeah, and you know. It just, we didn't grow up, or at least me and any of like our guys in the band, like we didn't grow up in that time of how shows were back then. So I think having a place like Gilman kind of have to make that a policy. Like it just shows like what it was like back in the day, you know, and how different it is compared to now and how people are now, you know?
Yeah.
It really like, I don't, it's like hard. It's like, because I was like watching all this stuff and like I was seeing all the old pictures of what that looked like. And that really, I was like, be looking like pictures of like my friends, you know,
Yeah.
like really like my friends. And I completely forgot about that guy until today, where I was like, I'm like,
Did
he's,
you look up his Instagram?
no, he's definitely in prison. Oh no, you want to know what?
What?
Dude, I did look up his Instagram a
couple years ago?
Yes.
Yeah, wife and kids?
Married an Asian girl.
Okay.
Maybe
Good for him.
he stopped being racist.
That's true. Oh,
Maybe he was like, the motorcycle knocked it out of
Knocked
him.
the racism out of him?
Yeah,
Knocked
maybe.
it out of him.
But yeah, maybe. But I don't know. He might be a nice guy. Also, I went to high school with this fucking kid.
Oh my God.
This is important.
Is it?
Yeah. He looked just like Billy Joe. Identical to Billy Joe. Identical. He played in a hardcore band called Versus the Mirror. And he worked at Hot Topic, and he ended up being like very high up at Hot Topic. I'm still friends with
Do
him.
you think because he looked like Billy Joe, he was more promoted at Hot Topic?
I do. Because he's handsome. Here, I found his Instagram, and
Okay.
he really is like an awesome guy, though, is the thing. And he married, mutual friend Danny, and I found their Instagram. They've been together since we were in high school. They have a cute baby. They're like Disneyland people now. They always were Disneyland people.
This is probably our listeners are probably like so interested in this.
Well, yeah, they're gonna be, because I found this picture. Look at this, dude. Look at that. Tell me this fucking guy.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like Billy Joe mixed with BJ Novak.
Wait, look at this. Yeah. That's them in high school.
Oh, cute.
I was at this part. I was at that. No, I wasn't there. I was at this part, at this prom. I was at this fucking thing.
Were you wasted?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. No, there wasn't a fucking waking breath. I was not.
All right. Okay. So these guys worked with our friend of the show, Rob Cavallo. He's actually come on this podcast twice.
Oh, sick.
He's so cool.
He ghosted me today.
Did he?
Mm.
Well, he's a busy man.
I texted him about it.
Well, he's probably like, dude, the last 2 times you've had me on your show, you just talked about people from high school who look like Billy Joe Armstrong.
Yeah, and he was probably like, that's awesome. And also probably
So sick.
Yeah, he was probably like, that's really cool. You should keep talking about that. Tell me another person that you went to high school with. That's exactly what Rob Cavallo is like.
So they signed a 5-album deal for this record. That's a lot of records.
That is a lot of records.
They literally signed their whole life away.
Yeah, pretty much. But that is not an uncommon thing for majors. It's usually, I feel like
5-album deals.
it's like 4 or 5 at the bare minimum.
That's like a career. That's your whole career.
Bro, there's people signing 10 record deals. It's like insane.
Damn.
You don't think about that kind of thing when you're seeing people sign or go to a major label or thing. Like it's like you're gonna give me the next 10 years of your life kind of thing.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
But Rob Cavallo was pretty young at the time. This was like his first like real thing that he was doing, and he was doing like A&R for Warner Reprise Records. And I guess the band was just there to fucking work. Like they saw the opportunity and they were like, let's fucking go for it. And the fact that they had like all their punk roots of being like, we only have this budget and like 3 days to record really set them up for success here, because they were so good. Billy Joe did all of his vocals in 2 days.
I've seen that before too.
How long does it take you to do vocals for a record usually?
Dude, it depends.
Let me ask you this too. Does it hurt? Your voice hurt after you do that?
No, not really.
You like just know how to do it now?
Yeah, it used to hurt me for sure.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, because I had no idea what I was doing, but it usually, I like to do like a song or 2 in a day, and then we break it up throughout the rest of the recording. So like if drums are done and then we finish rhythm guitars for a song, I'll start doing vocals on that song. So then I'm not doing like 4 or 5 straight days of vocals. And then, because obviously you want the best of your ability and you want to feel good every single day. If I was doing like 4 days in a row of just vocals every day, I feel like by the 4th day, I'd be like pretty gassed. I definitely wouldn't be able to like do my thing. But I usually we break it up like that just so I could get the best performance. But hearing him do it in 2 days is pretty It's pretty incredible, honestly. And that means he was probably just like one taking like everything.
Yeah. And he's like a good singer.
Yeah. He's a great singer. Yeah.
I like that. I want, one of the things that I watched that really stuck out to me was, I think it was Fat Michael from NoFX, who I love. I think that guy is very funny. But he was like, yeah, it might not have been him. It might have been some other dude, but they said this. They were like, while everybody was like focused on being really good at their instruments, Billy Joe was really focused on writing good songs, like being a songwriter.
And I think that's it. That's definitely a thing. I completely agree. I think songwriting and playing are two different things. I feel like I'm not a great guitar player. Like I feel like I'm on paper, I'm an okay guitar player, but I feel like I understand how to write a song for our band. You know what I'm saying? Like it is two different things. My dad, I think, is the opposite, where I think he's a great player, but he never really like wrote a shit ton of songs. So he like, I feel like if I asked him to write a song, he would, probably struggle to do one, or like it would take him a little bit longer to like understand that. I think it is two different things.
Yeah, I 100% think it's two different things.
And I also think it depends on how creative you are as a person and able, like, I don't think, you could give someone a guitar and tell them to write a song. And I think like, Billy Joe, who's just doing power chords, would probably write a better song than the guy who's ripping Eddie Van Halen solos, no problem. You know what I'm saying? And maybe only practicing to like bands that he likes,
I think it is. I'm still so impressed with people who are good at instruments.
Yeah, I am too.
Like it's a different thing. It's a totally different thing. But I'm like so impressed when somebody can just like sit down at a piano and just play anything perfectly. Or all my like shorts are like all music shit.
Yeah,
and it's just people shredding all day. And I'm just, how fuck you
being insanely good at drums and like, just absolutely ripping.
It.
Yeah. It's awesome, but it makes me wish that I took like one instrument super, super serious and like mastered it and got like super good. But I just wanted to learn different things and like learn how to play the drums and learn how to play guitar and learn how to sing. And then I wanted to just skateboard all the time, you know what I mean? And like do all these different things. So like, there's just not enough time in the day to just be that good at one thing for how I am as a person.
When your brain works like in a different way. When you're like, when I want to absorb everything, I think that then you become like what is there as a term? It's like it's not jack of all trades, master of something like that. But it is like, I think knowing your way around each one of those things, so you can become really good at being in a group of people that are really good at those things.
Yeah.
Is a really important skill, even if you can't shred.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think at being in a band, the more you learn about the other instruments, the more it just helps you as a band write and do things like that, because you need to understand what is going on with how the drums should go for a part, or like how you picture the drums going for a part, which may help you demo the song later on, or like may help you in the studio, or maybe you hear like a guitar part in your head, but you don't really know how to play it, but you can mouth it to someone who will understand. Like,
right. You have to learn how to speak the language.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And I think by just learning a little bit of everything, if you are a songwriter or like trying to be a songwriter, I think that helps a lot for sure.
I think that people should start having, is it a pseudonym? I don't know. Like, Trey Cool, his last name is Cool. Yeah. I think people should start doing that again.
It's a good name.
I'm going to do that now.
I think you should, I really think people should start like naming yourself Trey Cool. Yeah. Naming yourself Trey Cool is like naming yourself.
Trey is because he's like the third.
Yeah.
And then he just gets cool.
It's just like Trey, guy who gets a lot of pussy, is like that, is like the short version of that, which I think is people need to start doing.
His full name?
Yeah. Trey, guy who gets pussy and parties a bunch and everybody likes him. How do we say that?
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. We gotta start doing that again.
Speaking of good songwriting, what are your standout tracks from this album? What songs really hit it for you?
I think She is probably like my favorite song on the record.
She.
Yeah, that's yeah. I think the vocal melody is awesome. I think the harmonies on the chorus are like amazing. It just sounds really good. Gets stuck in your head like crazy.
Bro, that was another thing about Green Day. It was like I did listen to, I didn't like go really far into Green Day after I was like into punk that sounded like absolute dog shit. And there was like really, it was like bad punk, but I liked it because it was like counter. That's what I grew up with. And then Green Day was like one of the first bands where I was like, what's that? Why is there another singer on top of a singer?
Yeah.
Where I was like, that's a harmony.
The hooks are like insane. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like I've never heard something like this. That's like punk with harmonies.
That you can sing.
Punk with melody. Yeah. That you could sing.
Which is a really interesting concept. And it's like something that is, that is one of the reasons why I think that they did the thing that they did.
Yeah.
Like that just wasn't happening.
It was like, they like revolutionized that in a way. They kind of put a little, they are like a staple, like quote unquote pop punk band because they like kind of introduced the pop end of, the vocal melodies and harmonies and stuff like that into punk music. So like, that's kind of, it's crazy to think about it that way. Cause like, when I think about pop punk music, I think about bands like The Story So Far and stuff like that. But like all that came from Blink-182 and like Green Day and like stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like that's where that all is rooted.
I like didn't even, that's why I was like, I feel like this is a far out of our like thing, but it's not, it's like
Not really.
it's like the thing.
It's the thing
is
that
the-
started
yeah,
it
it's
all,
like the
really.
But I just never think about it like that. I think about Green Day in like such a completely different stratosphere.
And it's just because they're on this massive scale,
Yeah.
right? But they weren't always, and just like any other band, like they're not always on where they are now. Like they were small at one point doing their thing. And like, I'm sure there were other bands doing, harmonies and really gassing up the hooks on like their songs. But like Green Day was the one that like got popular because of it.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
They're bringing in like those Beatles harmonies and like, dual vocals like the into punk. And it's really interesting. I don't know. In one of the documentaries, they were saying like, punk historically was like kind of a British thing. Like that's where it came from. But this Green Day is like, could not be a British band. Like they are very American.
Yes. I completely agree.
Yeah.
They also have it is my favorite album cover of all time.
It's a great album
It's the
cover.
I tried to get the guy that did that to do artwork for Emo Night, but he doesn't have like an email. Like it was impossible to get a hold of. Like,
That's kind of sick.
It did inspire us though. Like, so, this album cover is incredible because it you can look at it and you feel like you're holding the Northern California punk rock scene like in your hand when you look at it, and there's all these like little stories and little characters all over it. So for the 5-year anniversary of Emo Night, like we were like, we got to figure out how we incorporate this entire community into the poster
into
for this
one
thing.
singular thing.
So we had an artist draw, like we gave him like reference photos and stories for each person.
That's really
it was
sick.
all like real stuff that happened. So like people can look at it. It's like a Where's Waldo.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to like know.
I was going to say, I feel like every time I look at that record, I feel like I find something new that I didn't quite notice the last time. And I think that's fun. I think that's cool that you guys incorporated that because,
tried to get the guy, we literally
that would have
tried.
been insane. Yeah.
He's just, I don't think it was like, I think that he was just like, yep, did that. And I'm good.
Chilling.
Yeah. I mean, probably not that. He's probably just doing another thing.
Yeah.
Like it was like, I think it was email or his website it just showed his work and then no contact.
Damn, we should try again.
I really tried. I really did try.
That's
and
cool.
I hit up like people at labels to be like, hey, does this guy still active? Is he like doing stuff? And maybe he is and nobody knew back then. But like, I remember it was like, I was on a mission. I was like on one to get this guy.
The guy.
The guy. It is there's a lot of shit in here that I guess like I never knew. Hattie Smith is in there.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of other stuff. Look, there's other shit you guys can look up that's in there, like here's the story about like me going to high school. Like, look, you can't look that up.
Green Day Dookie album cover. Let's see who's
Now
in
you're
it.
gonna see who's in it.
Yeah.
See who's in it.
Is in it.
There's also like somebody in a. I didn't know this
You
until
got Black
today.
Sabbath. Oh, there's Angus Young.
Okay. Yeah.
Anus.
Your dad can fucking play that.
Oh my
shit.
God. Yeah, dude.
Your dad can play
Yeah.
that stuff.
I saw them when I was like 16.
Really?
Yeah, it was fucking sick.
I like them because he's like as tall as me.
Yeah, no, they're like, dude, they're old dudes, but they're
Yeah.
moving around on that stage like crazy,
Yeah.
crazy. It was actually really sick to see them. It
feel
was
like
on
I
my
saw
16th
them.
birthday. It was dope.
Something at Coachella or something.
Did they play Coachella?
I think they did. in,
Honestly,
like,
I wouldn't be shocked.
2013 or 14.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Fat Elvis.
Fat Elvis is in there.
Alex Chilton from Big Star. For no reason, it says.
That's cool. That's cool. It's a cool thing
Angus
to do.
Young, Patti Smith, the Ramones, Rocket to Russia that's the Bad Year Blimp, Black Sabbath. That's pretty cool. Ozzy's on there.
I
Yeah.
didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know any of this.
I didn't know that either, actually.
What else?
And University of California Marching Band.
Cool thing to do.
Um,
Yeah, it was literally like, I grew up with like Where's Waldo,
mhm.
Yeah.
right? And like, so this really reminded me of. I mean, it is like essentially what we're doing, but it was like I don't know, felt like familiar to me.
That was probably like I would say that's probably an inspiration for this
100%.
as well.
Yeah.
Definitely like the Where's Waldo stuff and
It's
things
funny.
of that nature.
I
was
think
fucking
that
bad.
they did not give him like any direction though. They said like just the name of it is Dookie, and he just came back with that.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
That's sick.
like he came back with like one sketch, made sure they liked it, and then like went through and did it all.
Yeah, it's the best. I think it's probably the best album cover of
Dude.
like all time.
Also, the name of the record is fucking
It's literally
Dookie.
yeah. What was the
It's
other
Dookie.
They wanted to call it Liquid Dookie.
Yeah, like yes, I have read that before too. Yeah,
because they were like, oh, we're just touring all the time, and like that's what they would call it when they would get diarrhea
Yeah.
on tour from eating bad food. They were just,
Well,
I got
so
Liquid Dookie
sick.
again.
In order to be the best pop punk or punk band in the entire world, you have to name your album after shit. You have Enema of the State, you have Dookie. Like you just have, that's what you,
have to
have.
have a shit
You
album.
have
have
to do
you
that.
have to have one shit album.
Yeah, and then you're number one
Yeah.
pop punk band.
Yeah.
Easy. And who would have ever thought? You know?
Well,
I-
what's the new Hot Mulligan record? What is it? And a Big
And a
Load.
Big Load. Yeah.
Like, bro, they're
Yeah.
they're
You
kind
have
of
to do
playing
it.
into that same thing.
You
You
have
know?
to do it.
I love their song titles.
Yeah,
They're
it's
so
awesome.
good. They're
It's
so
really it's
funny.
sick.
I just love them.
Yeah.
They're
It's-
a great band.
It's very, very cool to like play into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, remember when Metallica did Load?
Is that the cover that's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I know. Yeah.
And then they did Reload, which was like the worst. I remember like everybody being like, "This is the worst album we've ever heard." I like remember it being a really big deal. Oh no, or Load. Like they're like, I remember people being like, because it was like the first Metallica album in a
Yeah.
long time, and I remember people being like, "This is the worst thing we have ever heard."
I can't even think of when that came out. Probably later 90s, right?
Yeah,
Maybe I'm
maybe
wrong.
2000. I don't know.
Yeah.
Load.
I'm not a.
Hey guys, this is not. Also, none of the. Yeah, when is it out?
1996.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I remember it being like, and everybody's like, "Yeah, it's jizz on the cover," and then it's like, it's not. Shut up! Like, shut the fuck up.
That's so funny that sticks with you because you were like 12. So you're like thinking about like jizz on the cover.
Yeah, I mean, I was like very trying to like learn about this stuff, and
About,
like
about what masturbation is.
I literally was like trying to figure out what the word was.
Did you guys know that Basket Case was originally written by Billy Joe when he was high on meth?
No,
On
I didn't know
meth?
that. That's
Yeah, he was methed out and he wrote Basket Case. And he was like, this is the best thing I've ever written. And then he ended up like revising the lyrics completely, but like it does feel like kind of crazy.
Well, the music video too kind of fits that vibe
Yeah.
as well. Like being
it's
in,
really like
the,
panicky and anxious.
Yeah, and the colors are like super like vibrant. It was like very. I was reading something about that music video that was like such a big deal for the time because it was very different than like what was coming out at that time. And like the colors were really bright and that super like 90s look that you picture in your head now and what people are like trying to replicate now, including like my own band, you know what I mean? Is like based off like stuff like that music video being so bright and colorful where like other things like think of a Smashing Pumpkins video that doesn't look like
washed.
that, you know, it's like very washed, dark. And
Dude, you remember the music video for Zero?
Wait, real quick. What does it mean? You're a film guy. What does it mean when you color something by hand? Because that's what they said that they
with
did
the music
with this.
video. Yeah.
What does that mean? Like how do you color something by hand? I don't know anything like
probably because it was on film. I would assume,
that's
like it was shot
does
on
somebody
film.
go through on each frame
Probably.
and fucking color
Yeah.
it?
I think so. Yeah.
Whoa.
I mean, I'm gonna say yes, and
Should I ask chat?
No, that is it. That's what you do.
I mean, I don't know enough about that kind of stuff
no,
to really say.
it's okay.
But
Say yes. That's what it is. And
All right,
like,
all right,
and now
yes.
the next person, if somebody hears this, they're like, "That's what it is," and it's wrong.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Dude, if you just say shit confidently, nobody
That is
believes
what
it.
it is. That is
Okay,
what it is.
all right.
They should, artists meticulously paint colors onto individual frames of black and white film.
See,
Yeah.
that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
That is really, really cool.
Don't do that anymore because people don't care about that stuff, and that's why everything looks like garbage now. Do you remember the Smashing Pumpkins Zero video?
No.
I don't know if I can't think of that
picture
one.
it.
Yeah, that's like another one of my favorites, but that's like the opposite kind of.
Yeah.
It was like very God, but it was black and I think it was like black
They
and white.
removed the color by hand.
Yeah, but in a better way than it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just fucking so good.
I think of the Tonight video, if you've ever seen that, where it's just the weird panning angles of like different things. And
yeah,
like,
it was just like a better Wes Anderson movie.
yeah, like Loki. Yeah. And
It was fantastic, Mr. Fox. If Mr. Fox had awesome, I guess that's a great movie. But if Miss Fantastic Mr. Fox was Smashing Pumpkins, that's like what it was like.
And it's dark and like moody and it's
fucking
just
awesome.
black and white. Like
Yeah.
that was kind of all their stuff, all those like early 90s bands. So I feel like seeing a video like this on MTV, people were probably like, whoa, like what the hell is this? You know what I mean? Which is awesome.
I also liked that Billy Corgan, you could be a bald front man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I don't know if you can do that now.
Yeah.
I think you could.
I don't know. Yeah,
Comments would just be like, go to Turkey.
yeah,
Yo, actually you're probably right.
yeah. Literally,
It's like too
like
easy to be hot now.
it's $2,000. Stop being bald.
One note that I did have about this, and another reason why I think it's influential to our scene is because the lyrics were about girls and personal relationships. Like it was teenage boys. And prior to this, I think a lot of punk was just, very political.
Yeah, it was for sure.
Like that was kind of in the ethos of punk, but these were 15-year-old kids, like writing about 15-year-old kid stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I think they made up for it by writing American Idiot, 10 years later, and they like graduated into that sort of, political punk band. But at the time, they're 15-year-olds writing about what they know.
Yeah.
And like, you think about all the emo and pop punk that came after it, and like 90% of it's about girls.
1000%.
Is there any emo pop punk stuff that like is like is political?
I don't know.
I'm sure if you
Yeah.
deep dive it, there definitely
I
is.
like off the top of my head, I like can't.
It's still very much in like hardcore. There's definitely still that, and
hardcore for
a
sure.
ton of that, and I think that's super awesome. It's just like in pop punk, you just expect the song about the girl that got away, or like
And I think it's
insert
because
like
of
this
Green
girl
Day.
broke my heart,
Or whatever
because
street you grew up on.
of the hometown pride thing, which is it's sick. But
It has its place.
it does
It,
for
it
sure.
has its place, and everything has its place. And I think that's like I also didn't realize I don't mean to keep bringing it back to Gilman, but I think it's just so interesting that like every scene has its own like, if you think about like the high school trope of like jock and nerd and fucking what else would there like freaks, like every scene has like their version of that.
Yeah.
And that is like, I just never really thought about that.
Yeah,
I-
there's always that like legendary venue, especially in like the major cities and like stuff like that, or like, like through the Northeast and like in West Coast where like punk, I feel like was thriving, and like in Chicago, like that venue, the Metro in Chicago, like that's a bigger venue, but absolutely legendary. And like there's crazy bands that have played there over the years, and it's just been a hot spot for bands that have come up. I mean, there's like super sick videos of Smashing Pumpkins in the early 90s playing there. There's a video of Green Day playing there in the early 90s, you know.
Alkaline Trio.
Yeah, Alkaline Trio. Like
Trio one.
Metallica played there like a few years ago. Like, you know, just throwing it back to like where they used to play. You know,
really
it's like crazy.
It's so cool when bands get so big and they play like a regular venue.
Oh, I think that shit's sick.
There's nothing cooler.
Green Day played the Echoplex like a few years ago.
Yeah, I remember.
They played Irving Plaza last year, which is like, it's still like, you know, in my mind, that's like a big venue, but like a 1,200 cap room for Green Day is nothing. Yeah.
But I do wonder if they're like, when that stuff happens, if they're annoying about it, and they're like tech people are annoying about it. And like, instead of just like bringing in an amp, sound guy, there you go. I like do wonder.
They definitely have a whole crew still.
I know, but like it would be cooler if they didn't.
Yeah, I agree. Like really take it back to and just be like, hey, we just need like our front of house guy, and like that's it.
I'm sure there's some bands that do.
What's the bass guy's name? He's just carrying his fucking bass cab up the stairs of the Metro. Yeah, right.
Like that. Yeah, but that would be so fucking sick.
It would be, yeah.
Like that would just be cool. You know, do it one time.
Yeah.
Just do it one time and then play an arena. Whatever, dude. Fucking Green Day can do whatever they want. They are so goddamn fucking awesome.
Trey Cool. He not only plays drums on this album, he does have a vocal cameo on this song.
Yeah,
or on this album.
Is it All By Myself?
Yeah. That was back when you fucking CDs had secret songs.
Well, that's what that was, wasn't it?
Yeah,
a secret
I think
track.
so.
It's at the end of the last song.
Well, it wasn't like secret. I think it was like less than a minute after
Yeah, it wasn't long after, maybe 30 seconds after. Yeah.
Dude, but when CDs, you had to like wait and you just like accidentally like that was the best fucking feeling when you like accidentally let a CD play and you're like, 15 minutes later, there was something on it.
Yeah.
You're like, what the hell's this?
Yeah. Like, why is it still playing? Why didn't it go back to the first song? Yeah.
Really sick. Like really, what a cool feeling. You really felt like you were in on it.
We did that on our first LP.
Oh,
we
really?
did something like that where we like wrote this stupid little song, like with a ukulele in our friend's car, like driving through like, it was like a cold ass night in Wilkes-Barre. There was like, it was snowing and shit. And we're just like in the car, like messing around with this ukulele. And we recorded it on my phone on this bridge. And it's just so stupid. But we put it at the end of the record because we were like, this is funny.
I love that.
Yeah, dude, like I just said, I didn't know you did that. And I was like, nothing is cooler than that. Good job.
And I feel like nobody has really found it, or if they have, like it, there's been like 2 people that have ever mentioned it ever.
How long after?
I can't remember, dude. Maybe maybe a minute after or so, minute and a half. It wasn't like we wanted people to find it, but people are just like impatient now.
Yeah.
It's not the same as like what it once was, where people would just let a record play and then just sit there and be like, that was amazing, and like process it. Like I'm sure there's people that still do that, of course, you know what I mean? But nowadays it's just like,
on to the next
one, on to the next. Like now
thing.
that you have streaming and all that kind of stuff, it's just not quite the same. But
I think that's cool you did that.
Yeah,
Good job.
It was because of, Green Day and I think Blink has done it too before.
Oh yeah.
And like,
Blink is like kings of doing that.
Yeah. Doing like kind of funny stuff like that. And we just thought it was cool. So
definitely. All right. We're pretty much done. The last section, last section of the pod is if you like this, you might like that. What are you listening to right now? If somebody likes Green Day, like who do you think they would like that's new and current and cool?
That's a great question. I'm being mouthed a word over here, but I can't think of it. Oh yeah, his son plays in a sick band that was just on tour with Anxious. And
it was also sick.
Yeah, so Anxious is dope as well. And they said that he looks exactly like his father as well. And they said that his name's Jacob. I haven't met him yet, but I'm hoping to at some point, which would be cool. But he is also playing like one of his dad's like old Marshalls that was on Dookie, which I thought was really cool.
Joey and Jacob.
Yeah. So Jacob plays in a band. I'm blanking on the name of it right now.
Jacob Danger is his name that he goes by.
See? Awesome. Cool.
That
thing
is
to
really
do.
cool.
Yeah.
Sick.
Trey Cool, meet Jacob Danger.
Yeah, that is
Man,
cool.
shit,
I want you to meet my son, Jacob Danger.
That's cool to me.
Yeah.
I think that's
cool.
sick. Yeah.
Who was the one that played in Swimmers? Is that Joey?
Dude, and fucking Swimmers kicks ass.
No.
I've never listened to them.
They're
Is it dope?
awesome. Yeah, Swimmers is
Joey
fucking
Armstrong
awesome.
plays in Swimmers.
Yeah. They're fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Swimmers is
dude,
awesome.
Why am I
don't care.
blanking on Jacob's band's name? But they're awesome. Very cool. I would definitely look into that too. Why I can't think of their name. But
Look it up. You have-
honestly, like a band that we were just on tour with that is doing way more of like the punk thing that is like staying, I feel like, pretty true to it. Scowl is a band
Yeah.
from the Bay
Yeah.
that is doing the punk thing.
Good,
You know,
really
and-
good.
Yeah, and they're super sweet people.
Is it not called Danger?
No, I don't think so.
This thing says he plays in a band called Danger.
You also have a Despicable Me pop up on the side. So I
Yeah,
don't know
Wiki
how much-
fandom. I don't think that's gonna
Trust
work.
that.
Ultra Q.
Ultra Q. That's
what it
it.
is.
Yeah, Ultra Q is Jacob's band.
That
And
rocks.
It's very, very cool.
That's cool. I like
Yeah.
that. That really is. Yeah. And I was like, you should listen to Swimmers.
I'll listen to it. Yeah.
I like them.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No.
Okay.
I will listen though. But yeah, I would say Scowl, another Bay Area band.
Dude, what about No Pressure?
I mean, I love No Pressure.
No pressures.
But I feel like No Pressure is like,
Blink Mode.
it's more like Blink
Yeah,
mode. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what they're going for. And I don't even necessarily think that Scowl is going for Green Day. I don't really know a lot of bands that are necessarily going for that, other than, No Pressure is trying to do like the Blink thing.
Yeah.
Which is so sick.
I
I
mean,
love that.
I think they're like Blink if like Blink was like good at their instruments.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
besides like Travis Barker, like, that's
Yeah.
just like they're fucking
But
awesome.
that was the charm, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
100%.
yeah, even back in the day, like I feel like Green Day definitely wasn't like probably the tightest band, but like now they sound amazing, but they've all gotten so good at their instruments, and Billy Joe's gotten so good at singing, and even now, bro, he still sounds awesome.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's-
he's only 53 is the thing. They probably have like 5 more records in him.
Yeah, I mean, probably,
And he's like a
honestly.
goddamn
Yeah.
dude, like, I mean, like legitimately like he wrote like he wrote your graduation song
Oh
for
my
like
God, yeah.
every fucking
Everybody.
person that
Yeah.
graduated.
Straight up.
Like
yeah.
Green Day did that,
Yeah.
which is what a fucking feat.
It's also the finale of Seinfeld.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's how that song like really blew up. Actually,
I didn't know that.
the very last episode of Seinfeld they played.
It's crazy.
Good Riddance.
Yeah, well, that's crazy that.
And
Yeah,
then-
they did, didn't they?
And then
Insane.
it shot Nimrod up the charts. Like everybody went out and bought the
Bro.
record after that.
Low key, that record is slept on, in my opinion. Nimrod's amazing too. I mean, I'm a Green Day stan, but
Yeah,
I
I am too.
do
That's a good
love
one.
Nimrod. Yeah.
Insomniac was Dookie was the only album that I remember waiting for another album to come out.
Yeah.
Like
I know what you mean.
Insomniac-
Like it left you wanting more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I love that's like, I don't know, it has a special place in my heart because like I was really waiting for it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's kind of like Dookie 2.0 as well. Like,
I really love that album.
yeah, it's great.
I don't know, it didn't like have as much commercial success, but I fucking think it's so amazing.
Yeah. I agree.
Well, Ryan, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
This is fun.
rules.
Yeah, it was fun.
And I'm excited for emo night tonight.
Yeah. It's going to be sick.
It'll be good.
I'm really stoked. It's going to be fun.
All right. Anything that you want to plug or?
I would say just like, I always say this I feel like at the end of anything that I talk music is like, just start a band, learn an instrument, get involved in your local scene. And I feel like it changed my life and it's taken me to some really cool places. So
Absolutely.
definitely should do that. And, go to shows, man. It's awesome.
It is
Fuck yeah.
awesome.
It's the best
Dude,
thing.
it really is awesome.
Yeah.
I've been going to a bunch of okay, we gotta stop.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.